Welcome back to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review our podcast on the platform you listen or watch us on. Thank you so much for being here every week with us. We really appreciate it. Please also share our podcast, share our stories, share our reels, just share everything that we're sharing so that you can share it with your friends and they can share it too. This week we are talking all things post-wedding blues. And if you're watching on YouTube, you may have noticed that Emma isn't with us this week, but instead we have a very special guest host, Tyler.
Ooh. Thanks for having me.
Welcome
Back around. Yeah, I know, it's exciting.
Your second time on the podcast because you joined us in season 1.
Yeah, I did. So things have progressed since then, which is nice.
How is it going? So you're still in the process of planning your wedding.
Yeah, so when I came on in season 1, I was, I think, like, it's not stressful. It's really easy. I don't know why people get so stressed. I'm 5 months out and I think I'm having like just, I don't know, anxiety every day. So I think I'm back to a basic bride now. So what am I up to at the moment? So all the main things are done now. So venue paid for that and transport. So now it's all the little things, which are quite nice. But little things add up to be big things. And everything's like €500 for this, €500 for that. So little things that we haven't really thought about. But yeah, it's all good. So now we can start doing all like the little personal touches and thinking about like how the look of it's going to be and things like that.
Yeah. What's at the top of your worry list at the moment?
My wedding planner.
Do we
Hopefully
want
she
to
doesn't
talk
listen to
about
this podcast.
do we want to talk about
Yeah,
Jay, let's call her?
let's call her Jay. She is annoying to me. Also, I'm a massive control freak, so letting someone do it anyway for me was hard. But she's just sending me comms on 3 different platforms. I missed something this week, which was around our ceremony drinks, and then all of a sudden she didn't know if the vendor was going to be free or not, and it's because she messaged me on Facebook and not on an email, and I just missed it, obviously. So yeah, that is quite stressful. What's the other things? I think the biggest stress, another one, is making sure people are going to come if they say they're going to come. So we've had a few people bail for different reasons, but yeah, apart from that, everything else seems to be working out okay.
So Jay is communicating to you via Facebook, I presume email.
WhatsApp?
She doesn't just stick to one channel.
No. Honestly.
And how did you find her? Because if you weren't listening to season 1, go back. It's a great episode. It's our most listened to episode, you were pleased to know.
There you go.
If you go back to season 1, you're having your wedding abroad.
Yeah. So we're having our wedding in Corfu in Greece, which is gorgeous. And we found a venue, a church, like Mamma Mia style, on a little island peninsula thing. And basically, unless you spoke Greek, there was absolutely no hope of you getting in touch with the priest. We never planned on having a wedding planner. So I think I'd never really thought about the kind of impact of having one, or having to, talk my ideas over with someone, because I just want to do what I want to do, obviously. I don't want to have someone telling me I can and can't have it. So the wedding planner we loved was so expensive, so we kind of had to go with one that was a little bit more budget friendly.
Does Jay tell you what you can't have then?
Jay gives her honest opinions.
So you say, "Oh, Jay, I'm thinking that we're probably going to have blush color flowers with hints of cream and blah blah blah." And Jay's like, "I don't think you should do that.
No.
I think what you should do is this."
No. So all that kind of stuff, she's been like, you do you have to pay for it. But as an example, we were going to do these ceremony drinks, and the quote was something like €1,800 to have for everyone to have a drink and for it to be served by people. And Emma and Jen offered to do it for us, and we were like, brilliant. You know, it shouldn't be too kind of, you know, they are the masters of their craft. They will be able to put a few drinks out and make sure it looks nice. She'd not like that idea. No, she didn't.
So instead of paying Jay £1,800 to do a drinks reception, you're like, nah, we're all right, we'll just do it ourselves.
Yeah, Jay, not a fan. Can't remember what she said. Let me just see if I can find the email. But it was something along the lines of, I hope you don't mind me giving you my honest feedback, but I think it's essentially a crime to ask your guest to do any jobs for you on your wedding day. And yeah, and she just didn't agree with it. So there you go.
A crime? All we ever talk about on this podcast is ask for help, get everyone to do something.
Yeah, and then, not to go on too much about Jay, we're also planning a boat trip, which is external to the wedding day. You know, what we've paid her is for her to, you know, and she is doing a good job. And I hope on the day she kind of pulls it all together. So we're having a boat trip and we've invited everyone along. It's nothing to do with the wedding. It's just like an extra part of it. And there's a thing called the Corfu Grapevine, which is like a Facebook group. So I joined it, asked if people could recommend boat people, because in Greece, not everyone has a Facebook page or not everyone has a website. And I had about 50 comments on there. Brilliant. People recommending all these different things. And Jay's husband writes, "Ask your wedding planner, !" I nearly threw the phone at the wall. I was so angry. He's called Kay. Let's call him Kay. And yeah, that angered me. So yeah. But apart from that,
are you not allowed to ask anyone else?
But also, we don't want to pay her to do it. You know, we're capable of organising a boat trip on our own. But apart from little things like that, it's fine. It's going grand. What other things? Just quickly.
Is Jay going to be there on the day?
Yeah, Jay will be there. So will Kay.
Oh, so we'll get to meet them both. Woohoo.
Yeah. And what else have we been up to? We're planning 2 weddings essentially, because we are getting married legally in the UK because the logistics was a bit of a nightmare. So that was meant to be like a really small thing, just 20 friends, just 20 family members, because all of our grandparents can't come to Corfu. And now it's turned into like a full-blown party. My mum's rented out like this really lovely hotel in Stockbridge in the garden. She's rented out the gardens, and now we've invited all of our friends. So like, oh, do you really want to do this? But actually, it's in the summer and it should be really lovely. So now we're both really looking forward to that as well. So we get to do it twice, which is really nice.
Are you going to wear a wedding outfit?
Yeah. I've seen something I really like on Odd Muse. So something, they're just about to launch their bridal collection. So hopefully I should be able to get something like that. Something shorter, probably more tight fitted type thing. So yeah, should be nice.
Oh, nice. So this week we're talking post-wedding blues. So I've got a few fun facts for you.
Go on.
So you might not know this, but nearly a third of newlyweds experience post-wedding blues that persists for at least a month.
A month?
Which I thought was quite a long time. But the plus side is 12.7% feel post-wedding blues less than a week. 18.6% of newlyweds experience 1 to 2 weeks of post-wedding blues. 16% a month. And 8.9% over a month.
God. That's 31 days of being sad.
Yeah. 21 days of being sad. Is this something that you've thought about?
Um, when you asked me to come on and be a part of this episode, I hadn't actually thought about it, but the more I think about it, I think you plan this event, and for most people it is only just a day, isn't it? And for the majority of weddings it's 12 hours, let's be honest, from 12 till 12, especially in the UK, because you have to normally, stop all your dancing so early. You plan potentially for nearly 2 years for some people, 18 months, it's a long time, isn't it? And you probably do feel a little bit of grief, you've lost something really important to you and you won't get to do it again. So yeah, I think I'm still in the thick of it at the moment. I haven't got time to even think about the blues. But I think I will have it. I probably will have it for 31 days. But also, as women, I think I've been wanting this day for so long as well. So, you hope that all of your expectations are met and all those things. So, yeah, I can imagine some people feel the blues. So yeah, what about you?
I don't know. I don't have an answer written down because I couldn't really think of it. But thinking about it now, the first, the 2 weeks before the wedding was really stressful. So the actual wedding I didn't find stressful at all, because it had all come together and it was happening. And because we did a DIY wedding, when it got to like 8 o'clock the day after and we'd dropped the van back, because we hired a van for all of the wedding kit and all of those bits and pieces, I just felt relieved.
Yeah.
And then I had all of our wedding cards. So I did open them all on the second day in the evening, but I went through them all again and I made sure that I made notes of what people had got us, if they've got us little gifts. And I really enjoyed doing that because you get to read all of the messages again. And we also had a Polaroid camera as part of our photo booth. So I loved going through all of those pictures again. And then we had our wedding video a couple of weeks after that. And we also booked our honeymoon. Because of COVID, there were travel restrictions at the time. So we then booked our honeymoon sort of the summer after our wedding. So we had quite a few little bits in the couple of weeks after, but then Mega Moon was on the horizon. So I was really focused on what the plan was for that, getting in shape for it, just all of those sorts of things. So I probably did, but I made sure that there were like little rays of sunshine along the way so that I didn't get bogged down in that, oh God, it's all over. Now I'm just going to be someone's wife.
Yeah, and I suppose for people that probably, have their wedding on a Saturday and they leave on the Sunday and do a 2-week honeymoon and then come back, I bet you feel the blues so bad after that.
Yes.
Because people haven't allowed themselves to spread it out and get excited for all sorts of things, honeymoons or mini moons, or I know that you love to write down, I know when you get presents anywhere, you send thank you cards, and you always think about those little things as well, which is nice, isn't it, to schedule that in as part of your kind of post evaluation, should we just say.
And also you've got a few snaps that your photographer sends you of, a few nice edited ones that they've pulled together. Then we asked for the entire album so that we could see everything. Then the video came, so there was so many things to look forward to. And then the Mega Moon, if you like.
Yeah, which you got to spend the first part with me, which obviously was the best part of your Mega Moon.
Apart from the terrorist attack.
Well, apart from that.
I've got some good news. So I've looked at some post-wedding blues cures so that you don't have to be blue after your wedding and you can put these things into practice before it comes.
Okay.
So cure number 1, leave a honeymoon buffer. So leave time to recover from the wedding and have something to look forward to. Are you doing honeymoon?
We are, yeah. We're going to do honeymoon, I think, 2 weeks over Christmas. So we are doing exactly that. Yeah.
So you have a nice couple of months, 3 months-ish between incredible abroad wedding and then honeymoon.
Yeah. And we're still in the midst of deciding where we want to go. So that will come. Or we just book the 2 days. And it's so hard to decide what you want to do, isn't it, on your honeymoon? You want it to be like something you've never been on before, but at the same time, you know, be realistic. You're not going to fly to Bora Bora, are you, for a week? So it takes you 4 days to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think that's good advice.
Consider a mini moon.
Oh yeah.
So don't wait 3 months. It's a bit different for you though, because you're sort of like, your wedding is a would you call it a holiday?
Yeah, I think I would. Yeah, because I think that we're all, we're all calling it a holiday with the wedding attached to it,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of people are coming for a week, and we're so lucky that we've got 16 friends sharing like one big huge villa. You're never going to get that back again, but the whole week isn't dedicated to us. It is, obviously, but but it's only going to be for like those few days. And then if people want to go off and do their own thing, then that's up to them.
Do you think you'll then book a few days? When are you going back to work? Have you figured all that out?
Yeah, so we are doing Monday to Thursday in a nice resort in Corfu. So we're doing kind of like a little mini moon.
Yeah.
Just to chill. And the week for us is going to be hectic because we get there on the Sunday, and then the Monday most people leave. So I think we'll want a few days, just me and Matt, because we won't have that for like 8 days. Apart from when we go to bed, if we go to bed with 16 of us in a villa. So yeah. So yeah, that I think for us will be really nice.
Yeah. Oh, nice. You've already done this too. Save some days off for straight after the wedding.
Yeah.
So if you're having a UK wedding, you're getting married, let's call it Saturday, then you've got Sunday to rest and recover, and then you're back to work on Monday. That's crazy.
I don't know how anyone could do that.
No, don't do that.
No. What did you do?
What did I do? I think I had the Wednesday and Thursday off because we were getting married on the Friday. So I prepped the venue Wednesday, Thursday. Then we got married on the Friday, and then we had the big party on the Saturday. Then Sunday we cleared up, and I'm pretty sure I took the Monday off, but we had quite a big work thing happening at the same time. So it was just me and one other member of the team, and I had to go back to work on the Tuesday because we had to get this work thing done. She'd basically prepped it all the week before while I was off, and then I delivered it the week after when she was off because she was going on honeymoon. So 2 quite big milestone things happening there. But I definitely had the Monday off, and I saw you because we came to pick up Callie, our dog.
Yeah.
I mean, that day wasn't that fun. I remember being a bit like, ugh,
Work tomorrow.
yeah, great. What am I going to do now? A problem shared is a problem halved. Talk to your spouse.
Yeah.
I truly believe that is a thing. If I share a problem, well, maybe not with my spouse, but if I share a problem, I always feel better about the problem and it doesn't feel as big.
Yeah, I think I would do that with my girlfriends. I have loose lips, Matt would say. And I always need to call everyone and tell them everything. But actually with Matt, going to him with a problem, he wants to be a problem solver, and necessarily I don't need the problem solved. I just want someone to rant to. And most men don't really kind of get it, I don't think. Like they don't,
No.
or most grooms anyway, don't really get like your kind of the worry you have. I remember saying something to Matt this week about, what if the tables aren't white? We're having a black and white wedding. He's like, oh, they're wooden. It's fine. I think, no. Have you not seen the mood board? The thing is, and then you end up having like some kind of weird argument with your spouse, I think, over it because they're just not getting it. So I think share it with your gay friends or whoever will listen and not give you the 411 after.
It's exactly the same.
Yeah, I was just about to say Ian would probably be the same, wouldn't he?
He's how do we fix the problem right now? No, I just want you to stroke my hair and make me feel better.
Yeah.
Nothing more.
Also, can't do anything because it's a Sunday at 10 o'clock at night. No one's up.
But why do they go straight into, right, okay, you're telling me this terrible problem that must be solved immediately. Why do they do that?
I've no idea. Maybe we do that as well, but they just don't come to us with their issues. I don't know. Can't answer that one.
No, don't know.
And I don't really want to go downstairs and ask Matt either.
Nah. Don't make any more big changes for a while. So don't move house. Don't make any big changes. I don't know any other big changes, but once you've done the wedding, just sit back, enjoy that. Don't like chop all your hair off. I don't know. What else is a big change? Move house.
Quit your job. Anything like that.
Yeah.
Do you know what my mind took me to is like when these crazy people like have a baby and then get a puppy, or like you want something else, or you have one baby and then you're having the baby blues, so then you get pregnant again, and like we always tend to do it, don't we? Like if you had something big, you want like the next big thing to have in your life. And I know that we always talk about like not being fulfilled, like you feel like you compare yourself to other people, and we all do it, we're all humans, and you say, I wish my car was better, or you go out and you make like these impulse purchases, but actually they're not gonna solve the blues.
No.
The blues.
Can you even imagine having a puppy and a baby at the same time?
No, I can't. But you do see some people do it, don't you? Like, if there's listeners out there that have had a baby and got a puppy, or had a baby, had another baby and got a puppy, let Jen know.
I mean, I can't even cope with a puppy.
No.
With a small bladder. That was testing.
Yeah.
Kaya, our second puppy, she was teeny tiny compared to Callie. Literally could go for a wee every hour on the hour for the rest of our lives in the first 3 months.
And I think, going off topic about puppies, but I think as well, like when you first do it, like do you reckon that's why people like love planning their second wedding over their first? And like we're suckers, we do it the first time, put all this effort in. It's a bit like dogs, you get these puppies and you think, oh, it's all great, and then you do it again and you think, what was I thinking? But people don't tend to do that with second weddings, do they? Like
No,
they're like,
they
the second wedding,
no.
love it.
They're not like, what was I thinking the first time?
No. And then they go to Aruba on a beach and they elope.
I think I would do that in my second wedding. I'd have it on the beach somewhere. Come if you want, don't if you don't.
Yeah. We went to a wedding in Vegas with two of our really good friends who are like older second marriages, and that's exactly what they did. They did Vegas. They did come if you want. We're not inviting anyone. Then ended up being 17 of us. She planned this like amazing Vegas themed wedding where we were at Cirque du Soleil and the Bellagio, doing gambling, all that kind of stuff. And they just said it was so much fun, so different to both of their first weddings.
Yeah.
Maybe because they're happy now. Who knows? But yeah.
Yeah, Ian says that about he didn't enjoy his first wedding either.
Yeah.
He really enjoyed the second one, but and he was really, really ill. So I don't know how he did that. And now we're doing his wedding all over again because of his 50th birthday wedding.
Extravaganza.
Yeah, that one. And the last cure is relax. I don't know how if that's a cure, but just relax and remain calm.
Yeah, I think hindsight is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And we'd all do that, but it is stressful. Like it is a big stressful thing, but it's also amazing, isn't it? So in the moment, looking back at photos and things.
I also think when you're a control freak, it is stressful,
Mm,
especially if you've got a wedding planner like Jay or a wedding planner in general, and you have to relinquish that control and trust that they're going to do what you've asked.
yeah, I know.
Because you're not doing it, Jay is doing
No,
it.
I know. Jay.
But it's her profession, so
Yeah, and obviously when we picked her Instagram's great. You know, we're not her first wedding. She's got 15 weddings this year, so she's obviously doing something. You know,
15
right?
Corfu weddings.
Yeah. So she's obviously doing something right, and you know, looking at all of her Instagram photos, she pulls it all together. But you know, we are control freaks, both of us, aren't we?
You can find Jay tagged in the comments.
No, don't do it.
And watch and observe Kay's comments in the stories.
God, Kay's comments.
So we asked our listeners. I actually can't remember what the question was that I put out. I think it was, did you suffer with post-wedding blues, and how did you overcome them? So I've got a few that I'll go through, just feedback from our listeners. They just replied to the story that I posted, and Tyler, you've got a few as well that you've brought today. I mean, quite a lot of it is very similar to what we've talked about already. There's no major shockers in here. So one of our lovely listeners said, I felt sad it was all over, but then relieved the pressure was off me. I didn't really have any stress until the day before when we were setting up. I was very chill about the whole thing all the way through.
Nice. Fair play.
I think you do feel like that. There is that slight relief that
Yeah.
everything went as best as it could, as planned as you had made it. It's now over, so there's actually, if something did go wrong, nothing you can do about it. You're now married to your person. That's the end of that.
Yeah. And maybe it's because it's our job. Like we are in kind of events, or planning is kind of our thing. And for some people, that's kind of really out of their comfort zone. You know, maybe they are shop assistants or all sorts of different things, but then they're not in that kind of area where they're even planning anything. So if you've done that and you've never planned anything before and you've managed to do all those things, I think it's incredible. Put it on your CV.
Yeah, because can you even imagine not ever planning anything before in your life, and then all of a sudden you're having to plan your own wedding?
Yeah, for potentially 100 plus people.
So stressful.
Yeah,
It's
but
made me feel stressed thinking about that.
it's a huge
Next one. Oh,
yeah.
it is, yeah. I think you're right. Put it on your CV. I plan my own wedding, the end. The
Jam
next
jar
one.
era. Yeah, go on, hit me. Jam jar era. Yeah, hit me with the next one.
I missed having something that occupied pretty much all of my waking thoughts. Sort of like, oh, what now? Reality kicks in. A bit of a slump after, but also relief that it happened because of COVID. Another
Yeah,
COVID.
I get that. I think it does take over all your thoughts, like good or bad. You know, in the middle of the night, you could just be on your phone scrolling, looking through Pinterest, or, you know, TikTok's huge now, and seeing like, you can just type in and say like Corfu weddings, and you can see what other people have done. So, you know, for it to be on your mind all the time is completely normal. And then, you know, the day after not have anything to look at,
Hmm.
you know, must be sad.
Have you started having dreams about your wedding yet?
I've had one. I can't remember what it was, but I woke up thinking, God, I really hope that doesn't happen. I think the bus broke down on the way to the church or something.
Can you let me
That
know?
had one though.
Oh,
He
did
had
he?
one last night actually. That he went suit shopping, and then all of a sudden he was like somewhere far away, and then he had to go and get a bus to the next town because they had the trousers, and then the wedding was in an hour. He was telling me this morning, it was quite funny. And then he had to get a bus back, and you know, he was stressing because he didn't have the stuff. So
Oh, God. Let me know when your wedding dreams start coming. They might not. I'm not sure if everybody has them. I did. So also for our big events at work, I tend to start having dreams about 4 or 5 months out. But this year's big event, for some reason, I started having the dreams 6 to 8 months out, which isn't normal for me. But I remember having dreams in the build up to my wedding that things were going wrong, or that I couldn't find something, or that my dress was wrong. Just panic.
yeah, that kind of subconsciousness hitting in. But for your kind of event dreams, it's funny because it's not the first time you've done it.
No.
The third or fourth time you've organised it now?
Uh, this is number 3
Yeah,
of organising, yeah.
yeah.
But even last year, so last year after we did the big event, that was I think it was 7 days of work, like working 18 to 20 hours a day. And then we got home the Saturday after late afternoon, early evening, quick turnaround because we were then going to the airport to fly to Tenerife for 5 nights of relaxation. So we probably had 3 or 4 hours sleep at home. Got in the car, drove. I think the flight was at like 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. Got to Tenerife, checked into our room at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, had a nap. During my nap, I had a dream that we were still in the hotel, but I was panicking because I thought, where are all the participants going to be? How do I know who's here? Where's all the lists? And literally woke up in a panic that I was still delivering the event, but we had somehow flown them all to Tenerife and they were all in the same hotel.
Then you woke up and thought,
Thank
hell.
God that's over.
But that was a stressful week, wasn't it? You know, and the rain was horrendous as well, wasn't it, that year?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It's over.
it's over. Just got this year to look forward to. uh the next one, no real blues, but after doing a winter castle wedding, I'd love to now do a beach wedding.
Oh, I love that. Let us know when you do that.
Yeah.
If it's with the same partner or a new one.
I think it'll be with the same partner. So I know this listener. I was at the winter castle wedding. I'd quite like to be a bridesmaid again.
Oh,
Be fun.
lush. Do it.
Next one. Once we got back from honeymoon, the wedding blues hit, but book a holiday after your honeymoon so there is something else to look forward to.
Great advice.
Next one. I booked our honeymoon for 3 months after the wedding, so we had something to look forward to after our big day. So similar to mine, similar to what you're going to be doing.
Yeah.
Have
I
you had
think
any?
that's key. I think for anyone that is going straight away, I just don't think you're kind of, I don't think you can fully relax. You know, you still got so much to put away at home and, you know, open all your cards and things like that. So do give yourself time and give yourself time to save a little bit more money as well, I think.
Mhm.
Um,
How are you going to manage that? Is somebody bringing your cards and stuff back?
I've no idea. But then we're taking quite a lot of stuff out.
Yeah.
So we're going to have quite a lot of room coming back, you know, like all of our stationery and menus and prints and things like that. So
Yeah.
it should all be good.
So exciting. Have you got? Are you carrying your dress as your carry-on?
Yeah, I think with BA, someone told me recently, that's who we're flying with, you can add it on as an extra. Any of the listeners are cabin crew, let me know. But I think you can take hand luggage, and then on top they'll let you take your wedding dress. And they've got like a little hanging section at the front.
What?
Yeah, yeah. So they hang that up for you, and obviously in your wedding bag.
In the
But
bag.
yeah, um, yeah.
That is so cute.
And I think it has to be in a specific dimension box, so it has to fit like the kind of small cabin bags. It has
Yeah.
to fit within that dimension, but you can take it on as an extra, I think. If I'm wrong, let me know. But it will not be going in the hold, that is for sure.
Apparently. What
But
about Matt's soup?
it can go in the hold. I'm not being funny, but if the suitcase is a loss and I've just got my wedding dress, it's still not going to help anything.
True.
Have none of the other nice things. I'll still have the dress.
Maybe split the packing over loads of people's hand luggage. Not that you're meant to do that because you're not supposed to carry on anything that doesn't belong to you. However, if you're a bridesmaid, I would presume that that's part of your duties.
Yeah, I think that the important things will be in there for sure.
Shall I do the next one?
Yeah.
I didn't have much time for wedding blues as I had to go back to work straight away after our wedding.
That is sad. That is really sad.
I was like, will you? I now pronounce you husband and wife. Now back to work.
Chop chop. I'd be really interested to know why that is. You know, was it because they were saving all of their annual leave to go on their big honeymoon, or were they just happy to go, back to work? And, not for everyone, it's such a big thing as well.
Or teacher. If you get so if you're a teacher, I was talking to somebody once and they told me that even as a teaching assistant, you cannot attend somebody's wedding unless it's very special circumstances. So you're like mother of the bride, mother of the groom, or father, groom, father of bride, or a bridesmaid or groomsman. So if you don't sit within that category, schools are really strict on your time off during term time. So if they had their wedding on a Thursday or Friday, and also if you are a teacher or you work in a school or something like that, and you have it on the Saturday and it's not in school holidays, then you probably are back to work on the Monday.
Yeah, I know. That's probably why so many of them pull a sickie.
Well, the person I was talking to did say that she called in sick because they wouldn't give her the day off.
Yeah.
Like if it's your best friend's wedding and you're not and like she's got her sisters or like her brothers, or it's your brother's wedding or if it's your family member and you're not in the bridal party, and they're like, well, sorry, you can't go. Oh, okay, I think I'm going to be ill that day then.
Yeah. And ill the day after because I'm so hungover as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, there has to be leeway, but I suppose for schools, they would have to make exceptions for everything, wouldn't they? But I know that we've got friends that are teachers, and they would just pull a sickie, and then just kind of take on the consequences of it. They'd have to prove, wouldn't they, that you were there and everything.
That you weren't ill.
Yeah.
Proving that you're not sick is, as the employer, is hard. Like
Yeah.
you can't really say, well, I know that you're not ill, unless you're like somebody that used to work on one of my teams. They posted a picture of themselves, but they didn't post it. The pub took a picture of like darts night and the day that they had phoned in sick and posted it on their Facebook page as the pub and tagged the person in it. I was like, oh, ill are we? Don't think so, because you're playing darts at your local. That's been usual on every Thursday, so. Idiot.
Idiot.
What did yours say?
So I reached out to some of my girls earlier because I thought that would be funny to ask them what their blues were, and I've got some quite funny responses. So from one of the girls, it was like, had no blues, glad it was all over, had no money, and my life got to go back to normal. In the same friendship group, I asked, obviously sent out like a big message, and the other one put, so grateful I never ever had to email anyone else ever again.
That is so true, yeah. The amount of emails or text messages or Facebook messages, if it's just you and Jay. Yeah, you don't have to chase people for answers, and you're not being chased for money. And I get both of those, because yeah, you come out of the whole wedding process, and if you aren't lucky to have maybe your parents pay for some of it and you are paying for it yourselves, that is a huge chunk of your salary going into that.
Yeah, and both of these girls actually had like big extravaganza weddings. You know, one was in Hampshire at a really lush venue, and super expensive, you know, so you can imagine she was probably glad to never do that again.
Yeah.
But the most gorgeous wedding. And then the other one was a week-long wedding in France, which must have cost them an absolute fortune, you know. So I bet, you know, both were super, super stressful. And
did the one in France also have a wedding planner? Because I guess it was the same emailing back and forth.
Yeah, I think she had 3, because the other 2 left.
Oh,
yeah, or they either left or she sacked one. I can't remember, but I know that there was like a big of a hoo-ha because one of them was just awful. And then the last one kind of turned up, but it was like a wedding planner, I think. She will tell me if I'm wrong, but came with the venue.
Oh, okay.
But they were specific, like kind of wedding venue place.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I know definitely at least one of them was just completely useless. And she is a control freak, and she is a massive planner. So I can imagine she was glad it was over.
I am about to say something controversial. So Emma and I, we mention it pretty much every episode, run a wedding styling and prop hire company, and the wedding coordinators that come with the venues, shockingly terrible on the day. So you can't leave them in charge of anything because they won't do what they're supposed to. But equally, wedding coordinator is different to wedding planner. Wedding planners that I have met, I'm yet to be impressed. I don't know. I think it's because I'm such a control freak that I expect like military delivery in the operation. So I expect a running order, a suppliers list with contact numbers. I expect to know what the timetable of the day is and who's coming in when and where they need to be and where they're setting up and their emergency contact number. That's how detailed we go. Whereas I presume it's because these wedding planners have so many weddings that they're delivering that they trust their team and they come across these things all the time, so they don't need to necessarily have military detail on every single wedding. That's what I would hope for. Yeah,
probably. But I'm sure some people have, like, again, maybe it's just, maybe we're not the norms, but I know that, you know, some people I know that have loved it. You know, they've loved not having to chase people and get quotes for this, because they literally just send over whatever they want, you know, ice cream van, for instance, and that person that you're paying goes off and does all the hard work. You know, I bet that is lovely for some people. But I do think you pay for what you get for, I think, in the kind of wedding planning sector.
Yeah.
Okay. Got 2 more.
Okay.
One was she didn't really have too much wedding blues, but when her photos came, she felt like, oh, I wish I could do that all over again, and you know, had a little bit of the blues there. But she also writes, no blues because I was swimming with monkeys in Thailand.
When the pictures came through?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. So I get that. I suppose when you probably have only seen like a snippet of your wedding through the lens, you know, maybe 2 or 3 photos, when you get all of them back, but also it's your chance to see things you weren't involved in, you know, like people dancing or for them, she works for an ice cream company in Cornwall, and they had this gorgeous vintage ice cream van, and I guess like seeing all the photos of the kids like queuing up, and I bet that was really special for them because they've got 3 small children, so that was lovely.
Yeah, that's nice.
The last one is from one of my girls who got married a little while ago. She wrote terrible wedding blues, so sad it was all over, and it didn't help that her husband at the time decided to go on a boys' trip the week after. He obviously had it planned, and it's like so classic of him just to be like, oh cool, wicked wedding, off on a boys' trip now. So she was really sad and had really bad wedding blues. He was off with the lads, but they decided to plan their wedding after plan their honeymoon after their wedding, and they went 4 months later. So she said that was really nice to have that kind of staggered thing.
Are they still married now?
Yeah, super happy.
I'm not sure Ian and I would still be married if he went on a lads trip the week after our wedding.
But they are very like laddie. So he probably had the lads trip booked before the wedding.
How did he even get that signed off though?
They're always away. They're always on boys extravaganzas. But yeah, bless them. I remember just replying to her earlier being like, classic Jay. Because it was funny.
Ian tends to get sign off for things like that if I'm really, really busy. So he'll come into my office if I'm having a busy day at work, I'm doing loads of different things. He'll come in, he'll start muttering away in the background about something or other, and I'll just be like, when you're not really like, I can hear him. I'm listening more than maybe he would be in the same scenario, but I'm sort of agreeing to just get him out of the room quick enough. Yeah. And he'd be like, yeah, so just to let you know a few details about the wedding. I'm like, yeah. I'm going to be booking my lads' holiday the week after, but the bar has confirmed and we've paid the deposits. Okay, yeah, that's fine. It would be that conversation.
Yeah.
And then off he goes on his golf holiday the week after our wedding.
Mine is, I put it into the shared calendar. I don't ask for approval. And then when Matt books something, he's like putting it straight into the calendar. And I'm like, sorry, what? You're going to Spain on a golf holiday with all my family without me?
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
But he goes anyway.
That's a good idea to have the shared calendar. But although Ian puts loads of things in there, and when people, it's a bit like WhatsApp have done an update and typing now has a capital T.
Right, okay, yeah.
That's really stressed me out. Because if they're just typing, that's not the name of what their name's not typing. They're just, it's a doing word. So it doesn't need a capital letter. So Ian puts things in like, he'll put, let's say he's putting this in, Tyler's birthday brunch. He'll put Tyler with a small t, possibly birthday with a capital B, brunch, small b.
No.
I just cannot be dealing with this. So I then have to go in to the shared calendar, edit all of his mistakes. So we don't use a shared calendar for that reason.
The shared calendar for me is a lifesaver because I can just say to Matt, this is the 3rd time you've asked me what we're doing on the 2nd weekend of June. Just look at the calendar. But yeah, lifesaver.
Does he still ask you even though it's in the shared calendar?
No, he doesn't ask me now. Look at the calendar.
So funny. Well, thank you for joining me this week
on
the I Do Crew podcast. Please like, subscribe, rate, review, and share our podcast on whatever platform you listen or watch us on. Keep up to date with the podcast by following our Instagram account at the I Do Crew podcast. Send us your questions or topics you'd like us to chat through. Next week, we're talking alternative wedding ceremonies. But until then, it's goodbye from me.
And it's goodbye from me.
Goodbye. You've been listening to the I Do Crew podcast with Jen and Emma. Keep up to date with our podcast news by following our I Do Crew podcast Instagram account. Thanks for listening.